Okay, welcome to Make Your Own Fun. I am here with singer and songwriter Lily Bird. She's kind of sort of the shit. And if you're
Oh,
tuning in just now, you just heard for the first time ever an artist let me use one of their songs in their intro to their own video. So you just heard the song JB. So I was kind of hoping you could, well, first of all, thank you for that. And I also wanted to hear kind of like where the song came from and what was the inspiration.
uh, okay, so I wrote it about my boyfriend. We met in high school. We were in the same English class sophomore year,
Oh,
and it was one of those awkward, like, you know, when you're a kid and you just like stare at the other kid across the room and you're like, oh my God, he's so cute. And like, teacher makes fun of you and yells at you for like passing notes in class, but like nothing ever happens,
yeah,
right? Like,
I've been
he
there.
was always with someone else or I was with someone else, and then uh life happened, didn't see each other for like decades.
Oh my
And
God.
then uh one day I got a message in like my inbox on Instagram, and yeah, he was just like, hey, what's up? And I was like, damn it, there goes being single. So uh it just happened. And then yeah, the song just kind of came out from there. I don't know. Met at 16 and then met again, and it felt like no time had passed in a good
That's
way.
awesome. That's so
Uh,
great. So awesome.
yeah, so pretty
I
cheesy,
mean,
but
it's so funny, and I'm sure you'll get a kick out of this too, where it's like, at what point did like courting or foreplay just come down to the word hey? It's just
hey,
like
how's it going?
yeah, hey girl, like that. Was that meme with Ryan Gosling?
Yes.
And
Well,
it's
if Ryan Gosling said, hey girl, it would work for me for sure.
like you're at the
I
grocery
would
store,
absolutely go
you
for that.
literally would just drop your like dozen eggs and whatever you had in your basket, and you're like, oh,
Yeah, I'm there. I'm there, Ryan.
hey. So okay, so take me through. So you're writing some songs because I want people to know that the album is called Music for Headphones, and it's available
Yeah.
by. So rock on. People can find it. They can access it. They can rock out to it. It's funny because it's music for headphones. But so well, like you're writing a couple songs, and when do you know, like in your mind, that you're like, okay, I've got a couple. Do I go to like an open mic and test them out, or do I play them for friends and family, or do I just trust my gut and go like, there's something here, I'm gonna keep pushing, and maybe there's an album here?
So this album was kind of a surprise to me. I wrote a bunch of songs last year for Instagram. They were all a minute long, and it was my first time playing with stems, so like little music clips, basically from different instruments. Some of them were live instruments, some of them were like computer generated or whatever, and then playing with lyrics on top of that as well. And so they were all a minute long, and I tried to make them loopable so you could listen to them on repeat. And I kind of thought no one would listen to it, to be honest. It was just something that I did for myself to kind of challenge my brain to start writing again. I had my son almost 7 years ago now. And after he was born, I just stopped singing for a really long time. And I missed it so much. And so this was kind of my way to edge back in.
Mhm.
And my friends started mentioning that they kept listening to it on repeat, like over and over and over again. And so I was like, okay, fine, I'll do what you're asking. I'll put it on Spotify. You can have it. You can fall asleep to it. You can run to it. You can do whatever. And I called it Song for Headphones because I tend to like hide things in the music that you would only hear if you're wearing headphones. And I wanted it to be a really personal experience. I play a lot with like panning the way it goes through different like headphones, or like different trying to make sounds come from different parts of the room type thing. So you miss that when you listen to it on like a phone or a computer. But that's why I called it Songs for Headphones, because I wanted it to be this like quiet moment for you to like hang out with yourself and just kind of fall into the music. So
That's so cool. That's so cool. I'm gonna throw out a couple of references. Just it's very similar in like the story, like you're talking about how it got set up to. I don't know if you've heard of a band called Japanese Breakfast.
yes, I love them. They're
Yeah,
so
yeah.
good.
I can't remember the woman's name, but I guess she's like the main lady in the band. But she was talking about like just going out to like I think she was dealing with the grief of like a family member passing away, and she just went out to like
Mm,
a shed or something in the back of their
yeah.
property, like a keyboard, and like just to kind of like process stuff and get through it and just be like, I don't know what to do. And
Right.
same thing with what's his name? Badly Drawn Boy, where he just did like home recordings just to like do stuff. And it's like there's always like that one friend or group of friends that are just like, well, there's like something here and you should um
Yeah.
people. And I can't remember the girl's name from Japanese Breakfast, but she was like, nah, what? No one wants to hear this. And then they're like, dude, people will want to. And then it's just kind of crazy that you do it for yourself. And then it's like once like a few people kind of get in there and they cherry pick and they hear stuff and they're like, no, like I think this could be something, and like just some minor tweaks and like
Uh,
bring in some people to do some extra stuff and there it goes. So I love stories like that. I think it's like really super inspiring where it's like I feel like the best art is just for you to do
yeah.
whatever. And so how did you get to a point like did you perform any of this stuff live anywhere, or was it just all straight like at home, like straight to the processor?
I've pretty much been a hermit since the pandemic hit.
Mhm.
I homeschool my kid too, so I'm basically home with him 24/7. Um, so no, I haven't done any of this live yet. I do plan on making some of the songs, especially the tracks with like vocals on them, obviously, um, performable. So extending them into full length songs, about 3 to 5 minutes or whatever, and doing some shows soon, hopefully.
I was gonna
But
ask
yeah,
about
it's
that. Like
still a
you,
baby project.
so I know you play keyboard and I know you play guitar. So if you
No, I don't. I play ukulele very badly.
good
But
job
yeah,
there.
piano and voice are kind of my instruments.
Yeah. So like if you were to go out and do shows or just open mics, would you have like people come out and like accompany you to help like give it the full sound, or
What's that? Sorry, you were breaking up.
no, like if you were to go out and do shows like open mics or whatever, would you have people come with you and like play other instruments live so it like gives the full,
Yeah.
yeah?
So the way I have always envisioned my music is either make the song really, really big, like 18 tracks of vocals on top of each other, and then play the song acoustically. So like just piano or a really small like skeleton band, or the opposite, make it super simple in the recording and then kind of explode it into like an epic orchestral thing. So I do plan on, getting the band together again.
Oh,
Um, yeah, it's been a really long time, honestly, since I've been able to go out.
I know.
First because of the pandemic, and then, like I said, my son. So,
No,
but I
I feel
miss performing, so
I
hopefully
didn't, yeah,
soon.
I can relate. I didn't even know how much I missed it. And it was literally like a week ago today that I think I told them it was about on stage. I said it was about 7 years since I'd hit an open.
Oh,
And it's,
yeah, so about the same time, probably.
yeah, I mean, pandemic is what, basically the last 3 years, and then raising my daughter, and then, working and all that other crap and good times.
I
But
can't believe she's 14 already. Like, that's crazy to me. She was like a little bean when we met.
unbelievable. Oh my God. So speaking of that, since you tipped your toe in the waters of memory lane,
Oh
I
man.
hear stories of how we met, and none of them are, I don't think, embarrassing for you because they're more embarrassing for me. Where I'll just say that we met in a very low point for me when
Me too,
basically I
dude.
lost my apartment and I was kind of like forced into on short notice, just like moving into a hostel there in Venice Beach. And you were there, and I was like working at like a audio video store in the day and still having to come back to the hostel and work there and then like sleep. And like you were always like super cool and super supportive. And I just remember one of the first times, I think we were like cleaning one of the rooms or making the beds or running vacuums or something. And I remember we were talking and having a good conversation, and all of a sudden you like stopped and you looked at me and you looked at what I was doing and you're just like, yeah, Eric, you're really bad at this. And I was like,
Oh, God.
yeah, I'm just so tired. And you're like, yeah, you can't tell the guy who runs this place that. I'm like, I know. And
Oh,
I normally do a lot of this stuff. And you're like, I can tell.
oh, man.
I remember like
Sounds
one,
like something I'd say.
it was so awesome though, because it was kind of the kick in the pants I needed. Like, oh, I gotta just suck it up and figure out how to like find some energy or whatever. And I remember like we would like help, make the food and prepare stuff. And then you were like, yeah, I take back what I said. I'm like, oh, really? And you're like, yeah, you're worse at this.
Brutal.
Like, but I'm following like a recipe, and you guys said to do this, and you were like,
How bad can you be at making pasta, man?
oh man, like you would think, right? Now I've mastered it.
Mm,
Thank you, microwave. But
you microwave your pasta?
no, I'm
Mm.
kidding. But like, yeah, just I remember the people that we hung out with and stuff, and I don't know, it was so crazy bonkers. I just remember like so many people coming from like other countries and having crazy conversations, and then they would do stuff like late at night, and run around the halls and out to the beach and stuff. And they're like, "This is how we do it in Norway. I don't understand what the problem is, man. Like, dude, you just wrote we like WEE on your chest, and you just jumped out of the window, and he was just like, what, we." So
So
you guys
weird.
have some crazy stories about that time. I'm sure when you first met me, you were like probably like, "What the hell are you doing here?"
I kind of wondered that about all of us. I don't think any of us really wanted to be there.
No, it
It
was just
was like the last resort place. But at the same time, it was such a place of growth for me. Like, yeah, I don't even think I was 21 because I remember like everyone drinking all the time and me being like, nah, I'm cool.
everyone was coping or whatever. You'll see the air
Coping.
quotes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was intense. I had a job too at the time, but I was getting paid like pennies, you know? So I don't know how. I was like, I don't know if you remember, there was a Subway across the street,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I would go and get like the meal, and that would be like my one meal for the day.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I'd eat half a sandwich for lunch and half a sandwich for dinner, and that was it. Like that's how poor I was, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
like, like go to the 99-cent store and get like eggs, and that would be it for the week. Like it was bad times, but somehow we made it through and here we are. So, the whole if it doesn't kill you, it makes you stronger, I guess.
I guess I
Gave us
just
some
remember
good
like,
stories anyway.
right. Well, I don't know if you know this, but like one of the things that got me through like creatively at that time, and I feel like I must have talked to you about it, but I was just like, I was telling you like this place is so whack and it is so crazy and weird people coming in all hours of the night. You have like no privacy, and it's like you don't understand all the languages and stuff. That I was like, I just got to write some funny stuff to like get through, and that's where I wrote my comedy monologue book. And I feel like I must have tried stuff out on you. And I remember one time you were just like, so, or I don't know, you're probably like half awake and drinking coffee or something, and just giving me like weird looks, like, so are these like different personalities? Or I'm like, no, 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 they're like stories that people. You're like, I know what a fucking monologue is, and I was like, all right, and then you're like, all right, well, you do your thing, and I'm like, okay. And it was so
Little me
hard because it's like when you
here,
don't know
sorry.
somebody, but they're like, well, what are you doing? And then when you tell them and they're like, that's that's just great, man. It's what you're doing because you're doing it, man. You're making those peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, like you're helping out, you're
You
doing the
know what though? I was really impressed that you were like a published author, like you were doing the thing. You were living my dream, even though you were still
funny
like,
because you just said
mopping floors next to me. You were published. That was a big deal.
yeah, but you know what? Like, especially at that time, I was like, I remember telling you, like, oh man, if I could sing like you, like, I wouldn't be doing this shit. I wouldn't be like, whatever I was doing at the time, like open mics and stuff. And you were just like, meh. And I was always
Yeah,
like, God, you're so good. Like, you need to go out, you need to go to open mics, you need to, start writing songs with people and doing stuff. And you were just like, yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I think everybody has that when somebody tries to give them
yeah,
kick in the pants, that confidence boost, and you're not used to it. You're just like, what? Um,
yeah.
okay.
I was a church choir kid, you know? Um, so like I think I performed after that time period. I started working at this coffee shop and I met this really cool guy named Jimmy Reed. Um, he like, yeah, I was working as a barista and he like brought his entire keyboard into the place. It was just
Wow,
like
that's awesome.
writing music in the corner. I was like, what the hell? And he gave me his card and like at that age, I didn't know anyone who had business cards, so I was like, oh, he must be a big deal. So dorky.
At the bottom of it, did
Um,
it say like also is open to catering or something?
no, he was more of like a wedding player at the time. You know what I
Right
mean?
on.
Um,
Hey man, that's a
he's
paying
really
gig.
good musician though. He's an incredible composer and like um he started on saxophone, which like if you know me is hilarious because I hate saxophone. Um, but he knew like David Foster
Oh,
and like worked with David Foster and stuff. And so like this was like I was still pretty new to LA and that was like super impressive to me, right? Like coming from San Diego, I felt like getting into music was impossible. I didn't know anybody, and I was too poor for music school and I didn't feel like I was good enough to get into music school. So he was kind of the first like professional working dude to like, take an interest in me and be like, "Hey, you actually have talent. You could do this if you wanted to." And so we started recording some covers and wrote a couple songs and then doors started opening and so I started doing open mics and I got to play the House of Blues before it closed, which was really cool.
uh,
um, Voodoo Lounge.
yeah, man.
um, but I think I didn't have anything to say yet really. All of my songs used to be about heartbreak. I
Well, that's
mean,
Taylor
they
Swift.
kind of
So
still
that's
are.
like,
But I feel like um I was just too young for it.
what do you
I didn't
like not enough life experience kind of thing?
yeah. Yeah, I didn't know what I was talking about. I was just sad and lonely and like trying to like live in LA, which is hard. That's a hard town for a
Oh,
young person.
oh yeah.
Um but endlessly grateful to Jimmy for like taking me under his wing and um
So great that you
getting me started and making me believe that I could actually do it.
yeah, I mean, we're all so beholden to those kind of like guardian angel people that we don't know we need until they're in our life. And then they're like, oh my God, where you been for like however long I've been in town. But I just think that like with all your experiences at the hostel and your job, family, I just figured by the time you were at least 21, 22, that you would have had like so much to talk about, but maybe that you were just too close to it, like there was too much of a day-to-day reality that you were like, well, this is just normal. And then you got a little older or whatever, and you moved away and you were like, ooh, that was so not normal.
so not normal. I like tell my friends stories about that time and they're like, what did you just say?
Like, did you live through that?
Yeah, you? I
So I guess
but there are parts of me that like miss it, you know, like
well, yeah,
um
it's the freedom and the innocence, and also kind of like
yeah.
you're in a group of people. I mean, I hate to say it, but that was like borderline sitcom, like showing up
Oh
to
my
the place every
gosh,
day after work, and there's just like shenanigans and people throwing stuff around, and somebody walks in.
write it.
I just
You need to write it because you're the comedian, you're the writer.
I just remember like coming after work and going on the corner and just seeing somebody that never saw because it's hostile, and I'm like, "What's up, man?" And the dude would just have like a toothbrush in his mouth, just walking down the hallway, and he'd just be like, "What's up, fuckface? All right, man, good talk." All right, and then
Oh,
you go find somebody else, and I'm like, "Who's that guy?" He's like, "I don't know. Is he staying here? I don't know." All right, cool. Because he was
such
just in my
weird
room,
times.
so and then somebody was just like, "Is it really your room?" And I'm like, "Well, it's got my stuff in it." And they're like, "Yeah, so don't go through
Oh,
my stuff." And they're like, "Okay."
so
Craziness,
strange. So
craziness.
strange.
But
But you know what the best part of that place was?
what?
Other than meeting you,
Oh,
obviously. um, I used to go up to the rooftop. Did you ever go up there?
yeah.
And it would be like 1 in the morning, everyone would be asleep, and I'd take my little like I think I had like a little iPod thing at the time, and I would just like put my headphones in and like sing. And I would just like sing to the city alone at night. I'm shocked no one yelled at me to get off the roof.
It's not like
But
you're
yeah,
singing
that was like the
German
best,
death. You're not
best
singing
feeling.
German death metal or something. You're singing cool songs. You know,
Sad ballads,
word and you
Tegan and Sarah.
great melodies. You know. I don't know. You
I
do
don't
sing
know.
German death metal. I don't know what you do in your free time, but
I would like to learn for sure.
but so let's jump ahead a couple of years, and you get out of LA, and so well, I guess maybe we'll go back first. Like, how old were you when you first started learning instruments, and when did you realize like this is something I kind of want to do? Like I want to have this be like my artistic avenue, you know?
I think I was about 5 years old when I started taking singing lessons, and
Wow.
I took them throughout elementary school. It came to this point where my mom was like, look, you can either choose gymnastics or Girl Scouts or singing. And I was like, it's not a question. It's obviously singing.
Like the other ones are like uniform based, and I gotta sell crap.
Yeah, this is about
You
my
gotta,
self-esteem.
you gotta really annoy your neighbors and being like, "We got a thin mints," and they're like, "Fine, I'll take 2 boxes."
It
Because I can
was,
see you as like a little kid just being like this. You'll see my hands come up and just being like, "But don't you like the thin mints?" Like you're outside. You know that little table they put outside the grocery store where they all stand there, and
God.
mom is just like, "My daughter's selling Girl Scout cookies. Hello, hello, my daughter's selling Girl Scout cookies," and the people are just like, "Oh, okay, okay, just okay, lady, just here's like 20 bucks."
Take my money. Give me my Thin Mints.
But I can totally see you doing that. But anyway, so you're doing that, and then you said you play is it lute or ukulele?
Ukulele. That I picked up during the pandemic.
Oh, that's a
Um,
recent thing. Okay, right on.
yeah, I used to live in a little shoebox, and so I had a little bit of space for my keyboard, but
Sorry.
I was like literally
Go
living
ahead.
like in someone's basement, and I had to play something quiet and portable. So I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna learn ukulele. And I'm not very good. I don't love stringed instruments. I love the way they sound, but my fingers don't bend that way. Um,
It takes
so
years.
I play it sparingly.
It takes years. Like if you can play, and I know you'll know this right away. You can play a G chord and an A chord, right?
Yeah, yeah.
On a
GAC, I'm good. I can't play B to save my life though.
okay, you're gonna be like, what? That song can't be that simple. It is because the simple songs are always the biggest hits. If you can
Man, they're all so repetitive.
C G A. That's
Yeah, you're good to go.
there you go. You played Jane Says by Jane's Addiction, so there you go. So I thought it'd be kind of fun to do a little game here that I used to do with my daughter when she was younger, and you probably should do with your son, especially if you have to like go on drives and it's just like taking a long time and
Mhm.
cranky or frustrated. And I call it sing what you see. So you can look around your room, or like me, you're looking out a window, and literally, like, I am a terrible singer, so I will embarrass myself to kind of give you a low bar for you to jump over for me to do it.
Okay.
So I'll just say, okay, well, I'm looking out the window here, and I'll just be like, oh shit, I can't sing that. That's like a Phil Collins song. Anyway, but I'll be like, there's
I
a
love Phil Collins.
on the corner, or whatever that is. What isn't that, like Another Day in Paradise or something? Anyway, so let's just
So good.
say, if I can do it with a straight face, let's see. I'll have to make it funny because I don't know what else to do. So there's a kid over there in the parking lot. Look at him go. Yeah. Oh man, he's got a finger up his nose to the third knuckle. It's pretty gross. I don't want to keep looking at him, but other people are too. He just ran across the street, and I think he's gonna get a drink, and I don't know what else rhymes. So there you go.
Oh man, is it supposed to rhyme? That's a
It
lot of
doesn't-
pressure.
you can look around the room or whatever, and I just thought it'd be kind of fun, Work
Oh
on your
God,
and
I'm all
your
nervous.
well, you
Hands are
got stuff
sweaty.
behind you there. You can just say what's behind you. You got a glass. You got what? You got a coffee maker.
Yeah, I'm drinking yerba mate cause it's one of the only teas I'm not allergic to.
I love it.
Yeah, that's gonna be my next hit single, so
Oh
watch out for
yeah.
it.
If you're really thirsty and you don't know what to do, you can drink from the hydro leak.
Ooh, that's a fancy one.
I
I've
don't
just got
think
my Harry Potter mug here. Oh.
I got my rider fuel mug. So it's like I'll say like I probably should have washed this cup. It's a little bit yucky. I don't know what I was gonna say. I'll just say I'm feeling plucky. I was like singing to like a 6 or a 7 year old at the time. So
I
all
like
right.
it. It
Your
was
turn.
good.
Okay, it's your turn. You got this.
Oh God, this is like weirdly hard. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. I'm sorry. It's
I
too
can
early in the morning.
you can there's
I'll
like a
get back
silver
though.
trash can and like a straw hat.
Yeah, so I made a hat wall for my son.
Ooh, holy cow.
Yeah. A wall of hats. Imagine that. I don't know. I got nothing. I'm sorry. I'm
Oh
like
my
tapped
God, you gotta fucking write that song. That is genius. Because it's so
out
much
about
like
that wall.
a jingle for like a store, and it was just like, you know, imagine that, imagine that, it's a wall of hats. And you just got like the
Well,
wall.
that's good. You're good at this.
Well, I'm like just playing off of them, just riffing on what you did. So you could just be like, all right, here's if
You're
I
hired.
you gotta do
You
like
got to
what
come and be on my writing
you're
team.
like, all right, I'll bring in the funk, and it's gonna be horrible because it's white guy funk. So here we go. Like ring light, so bright, what do just ring light in my face because it's not the real sun.
Wow, my eyes!
All right, you gotta do one. You gotta do one.
All right. I'm all nervous. That's not how writing works for me.
No, you have stuff in like you just did a wall of hats. There's stuff behind you.
All hats. There's a unicorn on my bed. I wanna lay my head next to his head. That's also a little, a little catchy jingle for you.
That's a little R&B action too. That was pretty sweet.
Meet James Baxter.
Yeah. Oh,
James.
oh God, that's great. That's freaking great. Oh my God.
That's not my writing process. I'm actually really bad at writing things on the fly. And I think actually that's why it took so long for me to figure out how to write a song. Cause like everyone I knew that wrote music was like, oh, just sit and start writing. And I'm like, what?
But,
What do I write about?
Nothing happened to me. It's 8 in
Be
the
like
morning. I
really
haven't done
emotional.
anything yet. Yeah,
For
well,
some reason, writing poetry is really
I
easy
don't
for me.
know. Binge Gilmore Girls. I don't know what the fuck. I fucking hate that.
Gilmore Girls. I tried to work my way through that, and it's just
Oh,
so
it's
bad.
just
I don't get
bad.
why people love it.
Yeah, it's the same thing with uh the West Wing or whatever. It's just that idea of people talking really fast and just walking around rooms. And they're just like walking in and out of rooms and they're like, I know, right, right, uh-huh, sure, uh-huh, right. Oh, oh my God, uh-huh, right. And I'm like, this is a show. Someone said yes to this, and people are getting paid.
It's no Battlestar Galactica. You
No,
know,
no,
it's all.
no, no, it's no House of the Dragon. It's no The Last of Us or The Mandalorian. All
I
right.
started.
Well,
You what?
no, I said, what were you gonna say?
Oh no, no, I don't know. I was just being silly.
Oh, please be silly. That's what this show's all about.
I started watching this terrible slash amazing show. Terrible because it's like teen soapy drama.
Uh,
Terrible for me because I'm in my mid 30s now and I'm watching this stuff. But Ginny and Georgia, the script is freaking hilarious.
oh,
It's
is that on
super good.
Netflix?
It's on Netflix. You should check it out.
Oh my God. So many people were like, when
Compare notes.
two starts, and I was like, oh, that's cool. That's the thing. And they're like, I'm like, all right,
Which
come
one?
on. The one you're talking about. I was just
Oh,
somewhere.
Ginny and Georgia?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't. I like it came up on my suggested list, and I was like, I don't know, man. And I started it, but super funny. It's a
Right
good
on.
script, good cast.
That
If
is
you're into soapy teen dramas.
make that shit happen. Believe it or not, we're down to our last couple minutes already. I know.
Man, that was fast.
All right, so you got to let the people know where can they find your work online, or how can they like reach out to you so you can play their wedding or their anniversary, or want to get into
Write
that
you a nice little
big money,
jingle.
right?
You can find me on Instagram. My handle is Grave the Bird, and I'm also on SoundCloud. I think I'm on Reverb Nation still. Yeah, honestly, Instagram is where I post the most for music, or you can find me on Spotify as L Bird.
That's so awesome. So just real quick, what is next for you? Because you know the album is out there, people can get it, they can download individual songs, they can taste test it. When we wrap it up here, in the credits of this show, you're gonna hear a song called One in a Million, which is why I thought you played acoustic guitar. So that's
Oh,
I heard it
yeah, no, I
like, well, that's just you're like, no, and I'm like, awkward.
that's so funny.
Okay.
Yeah, next, I mean, I've been chipping away at working on a full album. Um, I had enough for one, but honestly, they're really old songs that I just don't connect to anymore. So just writing new stuff now and full length songs instead of little stems. So hopefully in the next year or so, I'll be releasing more.
That's so great. That's so great. I cannot wait to see like little clips of you like out and about, at shows, and
Yeah.
it's
You
just
got to come hang out. We'll do open mics together.
hell yeah. I'll open for you,
Yeah, I like
and
it.
then we'll mix it up. But I just wanted to thank you so much for being on the show. This is such a treat for me. I'm so proud of you. You've just been kicking so much ass, and nothing but the best, man. You're gonna have such an awesome career.
Thank you. You too, Eric. It's so good catching up with you.
Yep. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your weekend.
You too. Talk to you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Night turns to day, and nothing is the same. Nothing is the same. Your memories fade, but for me there's no escape. I'm lost in space.